I realize that I have a really short fuse with black men. Y'all think I have a short fuse with black women? I have a profoundly short fuse with black men. I remember, or this reminds me of Captain Solo has a friend who's, or used to have a friend, and the guy's in his mid 50s. He lives with his mother. Cap's been telling him for probably the better half of 30 years about how important, money is and getting your shit together. And dude just doesn't get it. He's always trying to find a way to not have to spend money. He went on dating apps, and the women that were on the dating apps, they were like, don't even bother if you don't own a home. And he got mad. And Cap went the fuck off on him, basically saying, you are half a century old. Like, at this point, you're supposed to have a home. That goes without saying. And he had to, like, explain it to this dude. And yet and still, like, he just didn't get it. Like, the people that you have a conversation with, and I mean, you absolutely demolish them in the debate. Like, it's not even, it's flawless victory. And it's not even your intention to just completely and utterly demolish them. That's not the point. The point is you want them to get it. And you think that you make a successful argument, and they're like, okay, I get it. And then, like, the next time you talk to them, it's as if you had never said what you said before. Like, I was like, yo, we already covered this. And they're like off, like on some other shit that's like the cousin of the topic that you previously talked about. And you're like, yo, we just covered this. We just got finished talking about it's about the money, or it's about you being and I just have an extremely short fuse when it comes to black men on this. Especially at my age, where I'm like, you've been grown. Like, this is not like talking to a 22-year-old where they got, just, all the hope and ambition in the world, and they just got that sparkle in their eye, but they have zero experience. Like, that's not who we are. Like, you've been grown. And you would think that, these individuals being grown, and see, I'm already answering my own question because we already talk about this when we talk about the difference between elders and olders. Olders are just niggas that got old. Elders are the ones that actually have some wisdom and bestow it on younger people, right? But olders are just niggas that got old. Like this person that I have in mind is already an older, or he's going to evolve into an older. It's just a bunch of wishful thinking, which I like. It pisses me off because there's so many black men that are on this shit. Like, there's just certain things that I expect to be able to walk into a room full of black men, and, again, what's understood doesn't have to be said. But I keep feeling like I have to do color by numbers with these brothers. And then not only that, when they're mad, they gotta hit you with, they gotta hit you with the personal attacks and the ad hominems and the deflections, and the character assassinations. Like that's their go-to. I'm like, dude, you already lost the argument. You already lost the discussion. And I'm reminded of this with that video that what did I put it? I put it on my community tab. What's the brother's name? Hold on a second. I put it on my community tab. Y'all should go over to my community tab because I put shit up there for a reason. I don't just put it up there for the fuck of it. I put it up there because, there's something in there that I want you to, get out of it. Some of it reinforces points that I've made, previously. Others are just interesting. What's the brother's name? The brother's name, this is the Style OG, right? And he's got a video called 20 Skills Every Black Man Should Have by 30. And one of the skills that he lists in there, and what's interesting, he's also from Philadelphia. But I'm saying one of the skills that he has in there is being able to mount an intelligent argument without getting in your feelings. And God, I mean, the amount of black men that they get in their feelings. I mean, you could tell them the most obvious truth, but if it literally contradicts, the bubble or the alternate reality that they have created for themselves, they get mad at you. They get mad at you because you're speaking the truth. Again, it reminds me of that scene in Gone with the Wind with Rhett, and he's in the room, and how he points out, like there's not a cannon factory in the whole South. They got a fleet that can bottle up our harbors, and starve us to death. All we've got is cotton, slaves, and arrogance, right? And what a dude go in there, we don't want to listen to any renegade talk. Renegade talk, like what? Like I'm telling you what it is. They've got factories, shipyards, and a fleet that can bottle up our harbors and starve us to death. All we have is cotton, slaves, and arrogance. I mean, he's telling them straight up, like, yo, we ain't prepared to go up against the North. What are you talking about? What does that mean to a gentleman? What does that mean to an original man? I mean, you can literally take that scene and replace it with all black men, and it will play out exactly the same. You got an indecent family in Charleston, not even your own. Again, personal attack. Bringing up a motherfucker's personal shit. You over here and you in this situation, in this relationship, and who gives a fuck? Motherfucker just spoke some truth. Who gives a shit? Again, going back to the whole Kevin Samuels, oh, this nigga gay. Who gives a shit? I mean, it's just like the shit. When somebody says something truthful, why is it that black people can't take it at face value? Why is there so much emotion? And then and see the part that angers me and pisses me off is the fact that I know I've been around other groups, and I mean their shit. Don't get me wrong, they can have some stupid shit, but the stupid people they're not at the table. You know what I'm saying? And there's less of them, so they don't really have to filter out like there's so many people in the group that are about their business that the stupid people, they have to align themselves. You know what I mean? Like they may have less capacity, but they got more capacity than black men. That's what it feels like. Like even the dumbasses amongst them will fare better than a lot of black men out here. And I hate to say that, but it's just the truth. Because the dumbasses in their group are forced to conform to the intelligent ones of their group. But in our community, it's like there's the disproportionate amount of dumbasses, and the intelligent people are in the minority, and the intelligent people just can't, speak to reality or speak the truth without the unintelligent people getting upset and getting in their feelings. And then it's like this mob rule situation. The only other group that I could think of that's just as bad as black people are Muslims, because they get on that group think, and you can go and you can find that video of that I don't know who he was, but he was some Arab Muslim who he was breaking that shit down. He was breaking it down about how if it wasn't for the West, the Arab world would be stagnant. We talk about the wealth and the riches underneath the sands and the oil fields of, Ghawar oil fields in Saudi Arabia. But if it wasn't for the European and their ability to discover the oil and then utilize that oil, that oil would serve us no purpose. So to sit there and go, oh, inshallah, praise to Allah and all this other stuff, like the Arabs actually did anything. Yeah, they did shit, prior to, I forget what the guy's name is. What was the guy's name? The golden age of Islam. There was like a golden age where they were like gathering all the books around the world and transcribing them. And then it just turned into, the whole Ayatollah Khomeini type of shit, where it's just like, it's just dogmatic religion, don't critically think, group think, anybody who, opposes the group, stone them, hang them, like purge them out of the community. Right? I don't know if you saw the Saudi Arabia, there was a bunch of news articles about a whole bunch of Qurans that have been flushed down the toilet. So they want to downplay the fact, like, there's people in the population that critically think, but, if they speak out, it's off with your head. But that's the only other group that I can really think of that gets as dumb as African Americans get. I mean, just dumb. And it angers me because, I'm looking at what we're up against. I look at, how things are done. You don't have time to be in your fucking feelings, man. Like, you just don't have time to be in your feelings. Like, we're out here getting crushed. Motherfuckers is out here making all type of moves and shit like that, and you can't even state a basic, obvious truth about, what the next move needs to be. And it's something that's just obvious. And again, like I said, my issue with the whole aspect of Christianity, because it's a cop out. You say, "Oh, I'm a Christian and everything." Then when you got to go and you have to oppose other groups and they're also Christian, then you'll present some bullshit about nonviolence, right? Or some, "Oh, we can't do that because of the goodness of your heart," or something like that. I'm like, okay, you're not a wolf. You're not ready to compete, which frustrates the hell out of me, because I'm like, you're a useless black man. You're useless. You're useless to the cause. You're not equipped. You know what I'm saying? Just mentally not equipped. I mean, if you just want to go off and live a basic ass fucking life, then nigga, go do that. But you don't need to be in these discussions. You just don't. And see, when you say that, then these same Negroes, they got the fucked up mentality. They're mad because you say they don't need to be in the conversation, but they literally have nothing to contribute to the conversation. Right? Then they get in their feelings about, their opinion should be heard. Everybody's opinion is not valid. And if you can't even mount a argument without getting in your feelings or without hurling insults, nigga, you don't need to be in the discussion. You don't have the emotional intelligence to be a part of a complex group discussion. You don't. It's just that simple. It's a level of maturity. It's a level of understanding how the world works. And see, the thing is like, when people are young and they're trying to figure it out, and they're looking at the history, and they're looking at what was done, and they're understanding the complexities of what was done, I give them the benefit of the doubt because they don't know. But once you start getting up there and you're creeping into middle age, and you're still walking around saying dumbass shit like you're in high school, or wishful shit like you're in high school, I got a serious fucking problem with that shit. I got a serious problem with that. Because you can't do anything with them. You cannot do anything with these brothers. You literally can't. Motherfucker be standing in front of you all big and cock strong and everything else, and you like, yeah, fucking warrior. Wrong. Motherfucker has the mentality of a 12-year-old. Why are we doing that? Oh, that sounds evil. What, motherfucker? This is what has already been done to us. Just, it's retarded. No competitiveness whatsoever. No cutthroat whatsoever. So focused on, again, Christianity and the sweet twinkle of Christ and trying to be a good person and a good human being and all this other, just completely ignoring the war and the battle going on between groups on this finite planet with finite resources. There's only so much land, there's only so much water, there's only so much material wealth. And so in order to function and compete and make sure that you can ensure the genetic survival of your children, you're going to have to be able to comprehend and understand how the world actually works. And it's not pretty. But if I can't even get you to do that, if I got to sit there and I got to argue with you and got to fight with you, and I'm like, what don't you see about, like, I feel like Ocho Cinco when he was sitting there trying to tell the dude, he was like, And he was like, because they got guaranteed what? Guaranteed what? Say it with me. Guaranteed contracts. That's why you had all the other football players that weren't going out there taking a knee with Colin Kaepernick. They were a rock star away from poverty. He was like, it's about the money. They were trying to get the bag. And I mean, his level of frustration in that clip highlights the level of frustration that I have talking to many, many black men. And don't get it twisted. Black women, there are hardly any better. There's instances where they're worse because, they get into the, not just the magical, but also on top of the magical, all that, womanness and woman universe shit and all the intrinsic things that basically society gives to women as a courtesy. Things like not cursing in front of women and everything. And then women foolishly go about their day believing that that's real power. Like motherfuckers recognize the essence of a woman because a woman walked in the room and a bunch of men that were arguing suddenly stop arguing. Or a bunch of men who were cursing stop using profanity in her presence. Like these women literally think that there's some high priestess oracles when they walk in the room and a bunch of men stop, not recognizing it's just a courtesy to women. But yet the women still want to run around screaming, rape and pillage. Rape and pillage. Yeah, crashing just like that. Rape and pillage. So it's like they're just as illogical and simple-minded as a lot of these men. But then you throw on, all of the privilege that women get, which makes it 1,000 times worse. But with men, I got no tolerance with that shit. I be ready to fight these dudes, man. I got no tolerance for that shit. I'm not like I got just like I have no tolerance, for Christianity. I have no tolerance for the magical bullshit. I have no tolerance for these pimp pastors and preachers. I have no tolerance for that shit. Motherfucker, I said 5 compartments. She's made of iron. That's all there is to it. I remember that when Captain Solo and I were on that blog talk radio show, and that pastor was up there. He was like, "But brother, what can we say?" And Cap was like, "Did you not just hear me? I just told you that the only way you're going to turn this around is with some gainful employment for these young black men. This isn't about what you can say to make them feel good about, not being able to solve their financial situation." I'm telling you, like, you be ready to put hands on these motherfuckers, especially after you break it down once and you say, all right, I'm going to give this brother the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he doesn't understand. But when you got a grown ass man that has been living on this earth for half a century, give or take a few, and they know what it takes to survive out in this motherfucker, and they know it's about the money, and they gonna sit there but brother, well, what can we see? Man, I'm telling you, be ready to fucking, I can't say what I'm about to say for YouTube purposes, but you be ready to put hands on that motherfucker. I'm telling you, you be ready to put hands on him, and treat that motherfucker like Goodfellas, because it's just like, I don't know what's up with all these detractors. We are seriously, as black people, we are seriously getting fucked up out here. I don't know if you all have been around the country or traveled around, and left the metropolitan centers. But when you go around this country and you really see how a lot of black people live, it's bad. It's really bad. On top of COVID, on top of, the jobless market and all that other shit. They're saying, oh, we have jobs are available. What are those jobs paying? You got people out here that got a fucked up choice between, taking home a $600 check for unemployment versus, a $500 check. Nobody wants to discuss or talk about how, jobs should pay enough to where a person doesn't have to make that type of decision. It speaks to the bullshit ass wages that a lot of people are making out here. And like I said, shit's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. This is why they want to take people's guns away. It's going to get worse. Because you're only going to have a small portion of billionaire business people, millionaire business people, freaking, professional people who are 100,000aires, and then you're just gonna have everything that's just significantly well below that. You know what I mean? If you're a single guy and you're making $80,000, you're not struggling. But you got to understand, you got people out here, lots of people out here that are bringing home less than $20,000 a year. I think, what is it? Less than 16,000 is below the poverty line. I don't even know how anybody can survive off of 16,000. And I got people, just saying dumb shit. I mean, everything from black men in the Second Amendment, black men working together, black men group economics, black men marrying black women if they want to build Wakanda. If they don't and they want to swirl it up, okay, brother, then swirl it up. But I'm sick and tired of these one toe in the water, one toe out the water, or both toes in hot and cold pools. You like, oh, I can go out here and I can marry outside the group and have mixed kids and still call my kids black and still be a part of Wakanda. No, the fuck you can't. These people that don't want to face reality. I'm like, you're not contributing to intact, thriving, revival of Tulsa, Oklahoma. You're not. Or Rosewood. Or Ochoa. You're not. Or Elaine, Arkansas. You're not. Just the amount of confusion that creates. And then the further, the problem of the women feeling some type of way because you're not choosing them. You're choosing something that's not a reflection of them. Even though, yes, I know you got black women out here that stupidly identify with women that don't even look like them. It's retarded. But I'm saying, if you're going to do it, do it. And if you're going to do it, be philosophically consistent about that shit. Not none of this, any of this bullshit that Umar Johnson's up there. And to my biracial sisters, you are African until proven otherwise. Then look at General Seti and say, and when you look in the mirror, you see a cracker, nigga. You see a white man. Again, gender-based colorism. Shit is retarded. I can't. Like you ever just talk to people that like you can't get from like one point to the next point without them like fucking up the logical continuity? Like you're sitting there like, but you just said, like this contradicts that. Then they got to scramble and try to reconfigure what they're saying. Or my favorite are the cop-outs. The cop-outs, the whole, well, I say, just let live, and what other dumbass shit will people say? Oh, I don't think it's that deep, right? I mean, just everything to try to dodge some of these responsibilities. Just everything. Oh, that sounds pretty racist to me. You're acting like all white people are against us. You know the types. You know the types, right? Oh yeah, white people are great individually. As a collective, they some motherfuckers. They're some motherfuckers. I mean, I was just watching a video about the appraisal of black properties. This black woman, she went off. I actually put that in the did I put that up? Did I post that? I think I posted that. No, let me post that. Black woman who she went to go sell her house and they lowballed her. They were like, the first time it was like 120 for the house because she was trying to refinance it so she could buy her mother's house. Then they lowballed her again at 110, right? Then she went and got one of her friend's husbands who was a white man, and then basically took down all the black pictures and everything black in the house, and then had the white man basically act like, he was the brother of the woman who owned the house. She made sure her race wasn't on the appraisal of the house or whatever. And then guess what the house came back at $250,000. That's why I say white people as a collective are fucked up. Because it's systematic. Hate this bullshit. White people come up and, try, oh, I'm an individual. You need to view me as an individual. Yeah, and when y'all get into a room and there's more than freaking 3 of y'all start conspiring. Plain and simple. And the evidence of that is everywhere, right? It's like black people are stuck between this notion of kumbaya that nobody else operates under. Right? They're just stuck in this notion of kumbaya. We're all God's children. We all need to come together. We're all human beings. That bullshit. And then the reality. The reality that black people were denied FHA loans, the redlining, the blockbusting, the shitty ass appraisals coming from white realtors, and banks and whatnot when it comes to, selling your home and the cutting off of generational black wealth. And the job discrimination and the dumping of drugs in the black community and the mass incarceration and the crack cocaine disparities and all that. How can you have the real evidence of that, and then you turn around and then you pick up a Bible and then you look at white people and you say, oh, we're Christians too, we're all God's children. But they don't operate like that when it comes to their actions. They're not sitting there. They're not trying to repent and oh, you're right. White, we were terrible in the past, and reparations for slavery, and we're really going to make this a fair and equal society because, we really follow those Christian values. They don't. White people are full of shit when it comes to their Christianity. Again, black people got the slave version of Christianity. Obey your earthly masters, all that bullshit. Right? Turn the other cheek. White people got the masses version. Right? Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. They got the masses version. We got, be docile and cower in the corner like a little bitch. That's why I don't have any respect for these black Christians out here. Y'all won't bust a grape in a fruit fight. That's why 11 churches after Dylon Ruth walked in the AME church and shot the place up. 11 churches throughout the South were burnt down to the ground. Last month they just had caught somebody last month who got caught and charged with a hate crime for burning a church down. Where's the defense? Where's the armed guards outside? Where are the armed black men? Not there. Not there. And that's on the black Christians. Y'all got no deacons of defense, nothing. You got Ray Ray and Pookie running around shooting each other, Young and Ace, Fulio blasting on each other, white guys over there making YouTube videos capitalizing on black men demonstrating their fucking self-hatred to the world. Pow, 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 nigga, pow, 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 yeah, nigga, yeah, I'm gonna mock your dead homies and dance on your grave. Yeah, just completely just shitting on each other. Their life, each other's life has absolutely no meaning. And then niggas sit around and wonder why, white people are like, well, black lives don't matter. Why do they matter? Why should they matter? Y'all just out here just blowing each other away. Not only that, not only do you blow each other away, you disrespect and mock the dead. But, them niggas don't care about that shit because it's personal. And the fact remains that none of the fucking black people are gonna put them on code. None of them are gonna put them on code. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Young and Ace, you know what I'm saying? Didn't get a phone call, Nation of Islam. Fulio didn't get a phone call, Nation of Islam. You know what I'm saying? Where are the fruits of Islam on this shit? Where are they? Right? All the shit in Chicago is going right down in their backyard. Right? Why? How? Who's correcting the shit? And then black men stand around and act like they supposed to get some type of respect because they got on a fucking bow tie. And yet all your young boys, your sons and your grandsons are blowing each other away. And there's no mentorship. There's no economic opportunities. There's nobody coming and saying or doing anything because y'all niggas is scared because these young boys will blow your fucking head off. I am highly irritated today. Anyway, that's all I got to say. That's my video. SWP out.